Hello and welcome to Let's Start Cooking, this channel that's all about food. And today it's chocolate, and one of the best chocolate desserts I can think of, and one of the easiest desserts to make is chocolate lava cake. It's so simple. You can do this at home in less than 20 minutes. And all it takes is 6 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate that we're gonna put here. If you don't have a double boiler, you can either use a pan like I'm doing with some water in it, with a bowl, and we're just gonna melt this chocolate down. Or you can stick this in the microwave if you want to. I would do it about 10 to 15 seconds at a time because you want this to melt and not burn. And while that's going, you're gonna take a stick of butter, preferably non-salted butter. And this is a half a cup. And you're just gonna put that in there because we're gonna melt this right in with the chocolate. And when that's melting, you're going to take a quarter cup of sugar, two large eggs, and 2 large egg yolks. And we're just going to add that right in. I'm going to get this out of the way. And 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And while this is melting down, we're just going to whisk this up. And you want this to be nice and light in color and whisked up. But there's not a whole lot to this. Once you get this all nice and whisked up, that's it. We whisk this up, get this done. We're gonna melt this butter down, we're gonna melt this chocolate back, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. We have our chocolate nice and melted, nice and silky. And the chocolate we're using is a 60% cocoa. So it's a semi-sweet because this is not going to be an overly sweet dessert. And these desserts go really good with ice cream. But now that you have this melted down, we're going to come back to our eggs and sugar, and we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. And when you do your flour, don't pack it into your tablespoon. You're better off using a spoon first and then putting it in your measurement because you don't want to pack this in. You want just enough flour. So we're going to mix this flour in. And then we're going to simply take our chocolate, and we're just going to fold it right into our egg mixture. That's it. Fold this in. You want to get this all nice and folded in. And while we're folding this in, we want the oven preheated to 450 degrees. And right on cue, the oven is preheated to 450 degrees. You want to make sure that your oven is up to full temperature before you put these in. These are only going to bake for about 10 minutes, depending on your oven and what brand you're using. These only bake for about 10 minutes. What you want is, you want the centers to be a little jiggly and the outsides to look like they're done. Okay, once we get this all mixed in, we're going to take these and we're going to add these to our ramekin dishes. Now, if you don't have these dishes, you can use a muffin pan, you can use cupcake pan, These are like $2 at your bigger box stores. So if you don't want to buy these, you're only going to use them once or twice, you can use a muffin pan. Just be careful, because when they come out, they're still going to be hot, and you have to you have to flip these out. So what we're going to do now is take these. You can either flour these, or you can add a little bit of spray for non-stick. We're just going to add this in. And if you do get someone aside, you don't have to be too concerned about it, because these are going to come out of here. We're not going to serve these in these dishes. So if you're sloppy like I am, sometimes, and you get them all over, don't worry about it. That's one nice thing about food. You really can't screw it up. Unless you burn something really bad, you can always salvage something out of it. Food is supposed to be enjoyable, not stressful. Don't stress yourself out over a recipe. Okay. All we're going to do now is we're going to stick these in the oven for about 10 minutes, 450 degrees. The centers will be a little jiggly, and you'll see the outside start. The outside will look just like a regular cake, but the inside will still, you might see a little cup because they're not quite done yet, but that's what we want. A chocolate lava cake is basically a cake that didn't finish baking all the way. So before we put this in the oven, I'd ask one thing of you. Like, subscribe, and hit the share button. It doesn't hurt. You won't feel a thing if you hit the subscribe button, but it's going to help me out tremendously. All right? We'll be right back, and we'll put these in the oven. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. We took them out of the oven, and we left them sit for another minute inside the ramekin. And now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer that onto the plate. And by doing that, you take your plate and be very careful. These are going to be hot. These just came out of a 450-degree oven, and they do retain a lot of heat. You want to take your plate, and you want to lay it over it, and carefully move it to the side, because what you're going to want to do, you're going to hold both of these at the same time and flip this over. After you flip that over, let it sit for about a couple of seconds. And we're just going to cover it. With a little powdered sugar. And we're going to show you how we're going to cut this, just to show you the inside. And they are going to be soft. But this is a type of cake that you're going to want to serve as soon as you're done. And that's really easy to do. It's 4 ingredients, 12 minutes, and what goes good with this is ice cream. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe. And we'll see you again. Thank you.